crap about CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Really. Why do we care so much? You know, I'm so Warren Buffett is stepping down within the next day and a half, 2 days, and there's going to be a new CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. So in a way, Forest River RV is getting a new umbrella corporation CEO. Now, even though they have a president and Doug Getter, okay, Doug Getter now has a new boss that he has to report to. So why does that matter? Why do we care so much? I'll tell you why we care. It's because we've given ourselves nothing better to do. Now, this has something to do with the RV industry. I just haven't really gotten to it yet. You're going to be shocked at where I'm going to go with this because the reason why I'm live streaming it and doing it kind of on the cuff is because if I did this as a regular video, I probably would do like 75 to 80 takes and still not like what I'm going to come out with. So I'm like, you know what? I just got to wing it. Right. All right. So we're at a point in time in the RV industry and in the RV community where we have two choices. We can either believe that every single coach ever built is a pile of crap and that the only thing that Jeff Reynolds at Keystone, Bob Martin at Thor, the Coley brothers at Alliance, the Brinkley boys, well, maybe the Brinkley boys only care about profits, but the reality is that all these CEOs and presidents and GMs, that all they care about is corporate greed. They don't care about you and your family going out camping. They don't care about the memories you build. They don't care about any of that. They only care about greed. We can believe that. We can believe that there's some kind of middle ground between everything's perfect and everything's a pile of shit. Fact of life. And we need to you need to make your own decision about that because there's too many people that stalk the RV world because they're mad. They're angry because something went wrong and nobody would cover it. The problem is we're in and I'm going to cover this in the podcast episode that I'm releasing in the morning, 5 a.m. Pacific time. There's a podcast episode coming up because I'm covering the Battleborn battery situation. But the Battleborn battery situation just proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that we are in unfamiliar territory when it comes to the building of RVs. A lot of these guys are trying to take innovations that have occurred that are not fully ready and have not been fully ready and put them in cars, put them in trucks, put them in travel trailers and motorhomes and boats. And then the battery company that builds them doesn't want to back the product. So then at that point, it then falls on the manufacturer of whoever it is, a boat, a travel trailer, a toy hauler, a motorcycle car, to come up out of pocket to actually make that battery complete and make the customer happy, which breaks into profits. How many times are you really going to do that? And once one person has a bad experience, it blows up all over the internet. And here's the best example of this. Okay. Best example of this. So everybody knows on God's green earth that Nate Goldenberg and I are like in a war. Okay. I don't know. He started it. I didn't start it. He started it by calling me a blowhard. But at the end of the day, Brinkley RV, when they assemble these units and put their little experimental seal on, does every single Brinkley leak? No. It's obviously it doesn't. Does every single Grand Design fifth wheel frame break and fail? No. Does every single Coachman Catalina that's ever been built going to have a major recall? No. But the problem is that there's too much John Cena going on. You can't see me. You can't see me. Nobody wants to take accountability. And the reality is, it doesn't just start at Brinkley with the leaking, it starts with the guys that sold them the seal. It sells them, it's about the people that sold them on the process and how to put it on. For Alliance RV, that power management system that they put on a couple years ago that was part of their off the grid package. Is it Alliance's fault that the power package had problems? Possibly. But it starts with the people that sold them on the innovation of that power package. You know, when it comes to a lot of things, it starts with the people that sell the parts to these RV manufacturers, that sell the process to these RV manufacturers. It starts there. Now, you can go scream and yell Jason Lippert all you want, but this is not about Jason Lippert and Lippert components. Lippert components are still the basics of it: water pumps, plumbing. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the stuff that actually causes and creates major issues that is not involved in human error, or owner neglect. I can almost guarantee you that at least half of Liz Amazing's videos is owner neglect. And the other half is some kind of manufacturing faltering error or the dealership screwing things up. But to me, it starts at the parts level. So let's take Keystone RV as an example here. Okay. Keystone sees that Brinkley's kicking their butt in the fifth wheel market. Brinkley builds a pretty good product, overpriced. I've gotten a lot of people have told me that they're having leak problems. But if you go look at the overall product, including the fifth wheel toy hauler, they build a pretty good coach. They're not a pile of crap. They're not a piece of junk. They're heavy. They look cool, and they do a great job with not wasting any space inside the unit. And I think they build pretty much the best toy hauler that is in Indiana. Not the best toy hauler in the industry, but the best built in Indiana. Okay. But if when their little exterior seal fails, instead of the parts company coming up and going, "Hey, we've seen some videos and some things coming up that people are having problems with their floor, problems of water getting into their underbelly of their coach, water getting into this part, water getting into that part." Instead of the people that sold them the process and sold them the seal stepping up and saying, "Hey, heard through this kid's podcast that you're having issues, let's take a look at it." It's "you can't see me. You can't see me." So you can't, I don't just hold the manufacturer responsible. Now, I hold Grand Design fully responsible for the frame problem on their big fifth wheels. Okay. That's on them. That's a whole different story. But when we're talking about refrigerators going bad, when we're talking about solar panels not working, when we're talking about lithium batteries that are not doing what the manufacturer of the battery said it would do, that's not on the manufacturer of the boat. That's not on the manufacturer of the car. That's on the manufacturer of the travel trailer. That's on the people that are selling the batteries to these folks. And that's the biggest issue beyond the sales pitch of innovation. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is you have too many people trying to sell you a product on YouTube. You have too many people trying to sell you a RV mattress, RV batteries, RV power system. The problem is that COVID-19, the whole shutdown of COVID-19 fucked up the entire system of the full time RV lifestyle and the van life. Because now people see, oh, there's an influencer with 250,000 viewer subscribers. I'll go be a full time RVer and I'll live off of YouTube's ad revenue. I'll go get monetized and I'll jump on every trend and I'll jump on every bad news thing and I'll jump on the world when Camping World does something stupid. I'm going to jump on the world when somebody does something stupid and I'm going to create bull crap out thin air. I'm going to pull news out of my rear end and I'm going to show it to the world. Oh crap, that's no longer making me enough money to survive because being a full time RVer, traveling around the world, traveling around the US, traveling around Canada, and not going to work costs a lot more money than owning a home. Especially, and I'm going to pick on Brinkley only because Brinkley's very expensive. Okay. It takes a heavy, especially go buy something that's any decent size of a Brinkley, you need a pretty heavy duty truck. So you got a Brinkley you pay $130,000, $140,000 for. That's at least a $1,200 payment a month if you don't pay cash. Then you got the truck that you need to tow with, a dually 1-ton truck. That's another probably $1,800. So now you got $3,000 tied up a month just in the payments for the Brinkley fifth wheel and the 1-ton truck. Then on top of that, you got to carry insurance for full timers on both. That runs you another $300 to $500 a month minimum. So before you even put food in the refrigerator, diesel in the tank, food in the refrigerator, before you even go sit at a campground, you're 3,500, $4,000 in. It's not cheap. It's not. Even before COVID, it wasn't cheap. So think about that for a second. So now these guys go chase brand deals, and brand deals don't pay you by giving you a lump sum of money every month to say, hey, promote my product. There are a couple brand deals out there like that, but for the most part, it's all affiliate marketing and sales. And if anybody knows anything about that, that'd be me because that's all I ever get. Whenever I tell people it's going to cost them upfront money, I don't get anything. Nothing. Brand deals that pay monster amounts of money are for people that have 250,000 to a million subscribers and a base of people where they're getting 15, 20, 30 million views a month on their long form content. And they fit the description of the pitch person that they're looking for, not the person that sits here and tells you the truth all day. They want a person to sell them the dream. So you get these lithium battery companies, these inverter companies, these people that promise the dream, promise the moon, and then it's pitched and presented by your favorite full-time RV vlogger, your van life vlogger, the person who rebuilt the bus. But it doesn't come with the disclaimer that the battery system that you're putting on there is not going to function exactly how they say it will when you change elevation, go to different temperatures, change moisture level. It's all dependent on the environment you're in, depending on the degradation or the condition of your wiring. There's a bunch of things like that that nobody wants to talk about because they won't get the money from the revenue of that sale so they can keep living their dream. Today, December 29, 2025, when I'm doing this episode, I have been now contacted by 11 full time RV TikTokers who need to sell their fifth wheel, their Class B motorhome, or their Class A motorhome because they can't afford to do it anymore. These are people with 100,000 plus subscribers on their channel, and they cannot afford a full time RV anymore, and are saying goodbye to the journey. They're saying goodbye because there's a plateau. The most successful creators of content that are full time have multiple channels with big teams and use AI. And it is something that a lot of these full time RV content creators do not have the ability to do. There are lucky few that probably will never have to go because they have there's one particular that I can think of in RV Miles, Jason and his companion probably will never have to give it up because they've got a great fan base and they've got enough money probably coming in from the few brand deals that they have that they don't have to worry about juggling affiliate marketing and juggling a second and third channel. Josh the RV Nerd, Matt's RV Reviews, JD at Big Truck Big RV. These guys already have jobs on top of what they get on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, and etc. The RV Hunter, same thing. Their careers are not YouTube. Their careers are with a dealership, a corporate dealership that they just happen to work for and they team up with to be able to grow their YouTube channel. Right? So they're never going to have to worry. So they're always going to be around. I'm always going to be around because the same thing. I've got a career, but I've also got 4 other monetized YouTube channels and a Facebook page that's monetized. So I'm not going to be, I'm going to be around too. The biggest problem is that the misinformation and disinformation of the products that are being presented by people that are desperate for money so they can keep going on the road, so they can keep the full time image. This isn't the only industry this is happening to. There's a lot of people out there that were YouTubers that are being arrested because now they've gone and had to do extreme content just to keep their Lamborghini. I just watched, uh, um, I follow a guy and talk to a guy in Ohio that has a TikTok page and an Instagram that he is a car dealer, deals with a lot of used high end cars, especially older ones like 80s and 90s Lamborghinis and Maseratis. I mean, that's his specialty. Okay. And I watched him do a reel that he actually sent to me through DM. And in that reel, he's got a guy, and I recognize the voice. It's a famous guy that's on all the platforms, and 30, 40 million people follow this guy. He gets hundreds of millions of views a month. And he's telling this guy, I got to sell this Lamborghini of mine because if I don't, I'm going to lose my house because I can't afford the house payment and the Lamborghini payment. But I still got to have a sports car to keep the image up so nobody thinks I'm going broke. So this is what this has become. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram for the people that don't have a career that is attached to it, that are doing this strictly because they thought it would be great to travel the United States and save their marriage or get out of the rut or tired of living the lifestyle of the Joneses. Instead of just doing weekend vacations and keeping their day job and using this as a tool to grow an extra income, maybe grow a retirement or a passive income to supplement their retirement when they hit the road. These people treat it as it's a full time job. And then they find out the hard way, yeah, YouTube loves you for a little bit, but eventually people stop watching. eventually people find interest in everything else. It's just like, for example, I once the season one of Game of Thrones ended, I stopped watching it. After Sean Penn and Jason Momoa were killed off, I was done. The only time I watched the show The Boys was when Soldier Boy was in it. I didn't watch it any other time because I'm a fan of Supernatural. We're fans of one or two specific things, and everything else we watch just to kind of, oh, look, that looks interesting because so and so's in it. We jump around all the time. There's times where we're sitting there thinking, yeah, we'll watch all the Star Wars movies in a marathon. And then we get to Rogue One after the prequel series, and we're like, well, maybe we'll watch the New Hope another day. Ooh, look, Judge Dredd is on. Oh, look, um, look over there. Mr. Beast just came out with another video. I mean, we consume content differently. When it's fresh and new and we've never seen the person before, we're good. But and you're going to have your fans. You're going to have the people that'll stick with you. Hell, I've got a ton of people that hate my guts that watch every single video of mine waiting for me to say something stupid about them. Okay? I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of people in Indiana that hate my guts. And I'm okay with that. Doesn't bother me. And I've got some folks that have been here since the beginning. Since the first video in 2021, they have been here every step of the way. And with the podcast, there have been people that have watched every episode of the podcast, even back when I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But then there's people that got the information they needed and they moved on to bigger, better things. And that's what nobody talks about. And that's what has created this group of people that are peddling bullshit. And that's the reason why we have the battle-born battery problem. That's why we have a lot of component problems that people buy either aftermarket or through the industry goes and buys it through an OEM because some dude who's a big reviewer of things said it's the best thing possible, and then he gets a big monster check like, oh, thank God, I had to sell that many because I had to go pay my mortgage. Who cares if Alliance RV bought this big battery package system that I told them would run the AC system through the entire Valor on just the lithium batteries? Forget that I never tested it myself. I'm just got my $25,000 check and now I'm moving on. So that's kind of where the world is taking us. And if you notice, like Matt, with Matt's RV and Towable reviews, Matt has his own product he peddles. I don't know if it's any good. Never have tried it. But yet Matt peddles the same product every time. It's his product, his business, his goal. Josh is the product. Josh the RV nerd is his own product. So the one good thing I will always say about the corporate RV dealership YouTubers, okay, and there's now 77 of them, okay, shocking that it's grown that much in 4 years. There was only 3. Now there's 77. When you look at the 77 of them, none of them peddle a battery. None of them peddle a link in the description box below. Look, check out the link in the description box below because this is the best battery system you're ever going to have. This is the best hitch you're ever going to buy. We don't see that. We only see that with the people that are not directly attached to the industry that are looking to make the money so they can stay on the road, stay in the lifestyle, no matter who they hurt, no matter who they destroy. Until next time, remember that RV always stands for toolkit and sense of humor.